from the Frank Beck Studio, Chevrolet Studio Annex. It's time again for Time Out Over Time on the Time Out Over Time YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenault, and first things first, if you haven't done so yet, please get down there in that corner down there and smash that like and subscribe button if you would, please. Thank you very much. Try to keep this to try to cram everything all in here. As my goal is to try to give you a capsule summary of everything going on here. So I'll try to get you informed and caught up with everything that's going on that I know of here in the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. So let's do this. Let's go. Well, the colder weather is closer than we really want it to be. And now today was a nice day. Nice sunny day. Big difference about today was the fact that we didn't have much of a wind. And the sun felt pretty good today. The angle that the sun is at this time of the year and everything else. But it was a nice, very nice day for this time of year. Where am I going here? Where am I segueing into with this? Is the fact of the matter is the colder weather is out there. And it will be here sooner rather than later. And, you know, this is where the service department at Frank Beck Chevrolet says now is the perfect time to make an appointment to make sure your vehicle is ready for the winter weather ahead. Let them check the strength of your battery, your belts and hoses, wiper blades, antifreeze, and more. Plus, now is the perfect time to get those new set of tires so you don't go slipping and sliding down the highway. And if you don't think your car will make it through another rough Michigan winter, let the sales pros at Beck's help you find a vehicle for all seasons. You know, the 2025s are rolling in nearly every day on the lot. So right now their selection is tops. And you can check out their inventory at their webpage at frankbeckchevy.com, or better still, stop by the dealership on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville and let them help you experience the Frank Beck difference. Chevrolet. Together, let's ride, baby. Okay, before we get started, hang on a second here. Right, let's get the Wings and the Pistons out of the way. Wings won in Chicago last night, 4-1. Look, the Blackhawks aren't very good. It's just a shame that we still don't have the rivalry with the Blackhawks that we used to have because they're not in the same conference anymore. The Wings are in the East, the Blackhawks are in the West, but they're just not very good. And Wings didn't have much problem with them last night. Winning 4-1, the fourth goal was an empty net goal. But, so right now, the Wings are, 6-5-1. Good for 13 points. Good for, fourth place. They'll be in Toronto tomorrow night to take on the Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs are in second place. I think they're 7-5-2. They've got 16 points. Right now, they played more games than the Wings have right now, but they've gotten off to a good start. The dominating team in that conference, of course, are the Florida Panthers. Anyway, let's see what the Wings do tomorrow night in Toronto. 7:00 start. Pistons lost a heartbreaker last night in Charlotte to a Hornet team that's not very good. They lost on a tip-in on the final second of the game. They didn't box out. I believe the score was 107-106. The Pistons are 3-6 now. By the way, you know, I was looking at the standings today in the Eastern Conference of the NBA. There are only two teams at this point of the season in the Eastern Conference of the NBA. Two teams with winning records. In sharp contrast to that, there are only four teams in the Western Conference with losing records. That should illustrate or point out the disparity between the two conferences. Western Conference folks, as far as talent goes, head and shoulders above the East. I mean, it's not even close right now. No. Anyway, Pistons are 3-6, but I just wanted to point something out. Last year, I might have pointed this out on the last show. They were 0 for 15 last November. They did not win a game in November at all last year. After starting, I think they started the season 2-1 last year. But they have 3 wins right now. They're 3-6. As hard to fathom as it may be, the Pistons did not win their 3rd game last year. I'm not lying to you, exactly. They did not win their 3rd game last year until December 30th, 5 days after Christmas. That's how bad it was last year under Monty Williams. I like what I've seen so far under one JB Bickerstaff. I think they're more competitive. Kane Cunningham has certainly gotten off to a good start, but Jalen Duren is hurt once again. That guy just can't stay healthy. Anyway, tough loss last night. They will be entertaining the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow night at Little Caesars Arena. I think Atlanta comes in, 4-4? Maybe they can win tomorrow night. Look, are they a better team now than they were at this point last year? Well, of course, and that's not hard to do. I mean, once Bickerstaff took this team over, there's only one place he could go, and that was up. So they get you caught up on the Red Wings and Pistons. Just to review, too, again, where are we here? Michigan. What are they right now? 4-5. I'm sorry, they're 5-4, I believe. No, with 3 games left. They will host. Oh no, they won't host. I thought no, they're playing Indiana, undefeated Indiana Hoosiers, at 3:30 Saturday in Bloomington. Maybe think that game was in Ann Arbor, but it's actually in Bloomington, and they depending on where you look, the line is anywhere from 10.5 to 12.5 points. Again, I've said before, I don't bet, but if I were betting, I take the Hoosiers and lay the points. I don't think they're going to get embarrassed again. State's on a bye. Spartans are 4-5. Looking at the Wolverines schedule, I would think the only shot they have of winning their 6th game and becoming bowl eligible would be to defeat Northwestern at home. If they don't win that game, I doubt very much they're going to go to a bowl. Look at their schedule the rest of the way. Spartans, can they pick up 2 more wins? That's a little more difficult. If I look at their schedule, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see that. I think Jonathan Smith, nice man, good guy, good coach. I'd like to see him go to a bowl game his first year in East Lansing. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. No. Was it Monday night or Tuesday night? I think it was Tuesday night that the first NCAA playoff rankings for the 12 team playoff format came out. If you saw that, what do you think about it? Do you agree with it? What you're seeing so far? And again, it's not going to end that way, but interesting. So again, right now as we speak, Indiana and Oregon are undefeated. Ohio State, Penn State, of course, has 1 loss, but Buckeyes, I believe the Buckeyes got 1 loss too. Don't they? So I'm looking at this. If that's wrong, I'll correct it on the next show. But anyway, so much for college football. Baseball. The winter meetings, the general manager meetings are transpiring right now. The winter meetings are early next month. Scott Harris is talking I don't look. I don't know. From what he's saying, folks, I don't look for them to give or extend any kind of an extension to Tarek Skubal. At least not this year, anyway. I think it's happening. Scott Boras has said some things too at the winter meetings, talking about salary arbitration, this and that, one thing and another. And then from what Scott, you try to read between the lines, it's tough to figure Scott Harris out. Are they going to spend any money this winter? Get a couple of starting pitchers and find a third baseman. What about trades? Trade Torkelson or even Jace Jung? I think these questions will all be answered maybe in the next 6 weeks or so, or before the first of the year. But I don't know. For a team that he said last year, once we have established a young core on this team, we'll go out and spend. Let's see if he's true to his word, because I think they proved doing what they did the last couple of months of the season last year, and winning a playoff round or playoff series. They probably should have won two, but that's beside the point. We'll see if he's true to his word. See if they spent money this year. So far, it's tough to tell what he's going to do. It would not surprise me if they didn't, but they really need to they really do need to bring in a couple of starting pitchers, and it'd be a match made in heaven to bring in Alex Bregman, who played for Hinch in Houston. He's only 30 years old. He's a right-handed back with the steady glove that they need at third base. He'd be a perfect fit. So, I don't know who. I'll have to look up and see who. I don't know if Scott Boras is his agent too or not. He probably is. Anyway, Scott Boras dealt a lot with Mike Ilitch. I don't think he's done much with his son Chris. Anyhow, where are we at here? I got you caught up on basketball and hockey, a little bit about the Tigers, Michigan State. Let's do this. And before we leave tonight, it'll only take a couple of minutes. I want to give you my version of what I think professional football overtime should be. And it'll only take a couple of minutes. So anyway, as you know by now, this show, this production wouldn't be possible without the assistance and the guidance, technical assistance and guidance from one Tim Lindley at Quality PC at 37 Waldron Street in downtown Hillsdale. The place to go in our area for any tech service, sales and service, any repairs or whatever it is. This is the most tech savvy guy, folks, in our area. It's not even close. Not only that, he's the nicest man you'll ever want to meet. 37 Waldron Street, downtown Hillsdale, a couple hundred feet west of Howell. Anything. Computers new or used. Maybe the computer you have now or the iPad needs a little work done on it. You're thinking of buying a flat screen, large TV that you needed mounted and programmed and set up. This is where you want to go. Anything. Maybe you're changing internet providers and you need that installed. Unless you're tech savvy, I wasn't able to do that. And you probably aren't either. Tim can take care of that for you. Anything at all. Printers, new or used, get in there and see him. Any technical needs, you have it all. This is the man to see in our area. 37 Waldron Street, downtown Hillsdale, 517-610-5372, or better still, as I say, Mickey's trying to get away from me here. Get in there and see Tim. And when you do, you would please tell him Mickey and me sent you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hang on just a second. As you saw in the headline, Zadarius Smith will be practicing with the Lions tomorrow. Aaron Glenn did speak this morning, and he said we'll know where we're at with him We'll know more about him tomorrow. But as far as he plays on Sunday night, the Lions will practice in the morning, and they're leaving tomorrow afternoon for Houston. They will have a walkthrough on Saturday before the game Sunday night. I'll be shocked if Zadarius Smith is not in there at left end or the right end or whatever playing Sunday night against the Texans. On the other hand, what are the Lions? They're still 3.5-point favorites, I think. Their top wide receiver, former Michigan Wolverine Nico Collins, has been on IR, injured reserve, for the last 4 weeks. That means he hasn't been eligible to play for the last 4 weeks. He is now. However, he did not practice today. He's not expected to practice tomorrow. And according to Adam Schefter, it's doubtful that he will play at all on Sunday night. Earlier in the week was looking like he might have a shot at it, but I'll be shocked if he plays Sunday night. If you've been off for a month and you don't practice, you just don't come right in and start playing again, especially when you've got a groin. I'm sorry, not a groin, but a hamstring like he does. Hamstrings are a lot like groins. Obviously, I'm not a sports doctor, but there's not a lot that you can do for them except rest and some treatment along the way. But there are certain exercises you can do, but it's just time. It's something that has to heal over time, and it heals very slowly. So without Nico Collins, and of course, they lost Stephon Diggs a couple of weeks ago to an ACL. He's out for the year. Those are the top 2 receivers. Not only that, if you saw the game last Thursday night that they played against the Jets, C.J. Stroud was sacked 8 times. Count them, 8 times. The Jets sacked C.J. Stroud last Thursday night in their win over the Texans. Texans are undefeated at home. They're 4-0 at home. Obviously, they play better at home than they do on the road. They're 4-0 at home, and they are 2-3 on the road. They've got a losing record. They've lost some close games on the road, but that game against the Jets, it pretty much got dominated. Your quarterback gets sacked 8 times. Their offensive line right now is a mess. So, can the Lions stay undefeated on the road? They're 4-0 on the road. If they win Sunday night, they'll be 5-0 with 3 road games left. At Indianapolis, Lucas Oil here in a couple of weeks. That would be the Sunday before Thanksgiving. You wonder how many Lion fans will be making the trek down I-69 to go to that game at Lucas Oil. But anyway, the remaining road games are at Indianapolis, and the last 2 are outside in Chicago and San Francisco. Can the Lions go 16-1? If they still had Hutch, I'd say they had a good shot at it, but I don't think so. I see them losing another 1 or 2 games yet here before the end of the season. I'm hoping I'm wrong. They could be either 15-2 or 14-3. It's possible. They could sweep they played the Vikings the last game of the year this year. Possible they could sweep the Vikings, and I'm concerned about if you look at the Vikings' remaining schedule. I don't see a lot of tough games there. But I think the Lions under Dan Campbell have proven they can beat anyone, anywhere, in any kind of weather. You're watching the game Sunday night. The Texans are rolling out new red uniforms, red jerseys, red pants with chrome helmets, similar to the helmets that the Oregon wore Saturday at the Big House. Did you like that look? I thought it was okay. Some people thought it looked like a Christmas ornament. Anyway, quickly here, last couple of minutes. As you know, the way overtime is now in the National Football League, the team that wins the coin toss pretty much usually always wins the game. get the ball, they go down and score a touchdown, the game is over. What I am proposing, or what I would propose, adopt a format more along the lines of what college football is. Forget the 10-minute clock. Of course, you still have a play clock. Forget the 10-minute clock. How about this? The visiting team, no coin flip, no nothing. The visiting team gets the ball at the 50-yard line. So they'd have to at least make one first down to get to the 35-yard line to have a legitimate, viable shot at a field goal. If they do go down and score a touchdown, they got to go for 2. Okay? Then the home team gets the ball at the 50-yard line, headed toward the same goal. Well, the same thing. They would have to make a first down. They'd have to at least get to the 35 and have a legitimate shot at a field goal. If they score a touchdown, they got to go for 2. No running clock, no 10-minute clock. Of course, like I said, there would be a play clock. To me, that is a much more viable, plausible way of handling overtime in the National Football League. And like I said the other day, it seemed like any time the Chiefs are involved in an overtime game, they win the coin flip. And the game is over. It's pretty much the way it is for every team. You win the coin toss in an NFL game now, and you're headed into overtime, you're pretty much going to win. Now, the game on Sunday that we saw, the final few minutes of it, and we had bonus coverage of the Seahawks and Rams in Seattle. That went to overtime. Seahawks won the toss. They got down to about the Ram, 40-yard line? I think it was 4th and 1. Went for it, didn't make it. About a minute later, the Stafford had the Rams in the end zone. The game was over. I just don't like the current format they have now, and I'd like to see them adopt something to what I just recited to you. Let me know what you think. Let us know Saturday morning with Andy and Jed. If you watch this podcast, let us know Saturday morning what you think of my proposal for NFL overtime. Okay, that's going to do it. Let's get out of here. Don't forget, as I just mentioned, Saturday morning with Andy and Jed on Timeout with Andy Brown on 92.1 WCSR FM. And I will talk to you folks again on Saturday prior to the Michigan-Indiana game. So remember, please treat each other with respect. Have a good rest of your evening, and so long, everybody.